Can money really let you do whatever you want? The answer is yes. The spendthrift man. Today, he took out a... As a result, Huang Xiaofei couldn't control himself while freely flying. Everything was completely out of control. At this moment, Yifeng and the other two continued their journey. If nothing unexpected happens, they will reach the Soul Sect tomorrow. This made Huang Xiaofei pause. Yifeng, a man who values sleep so much, actually planned to stay up all night to travel. 10 minutes later, the three of them headed west. Yifeng looked at today's wasteful product, top-grade cultivation manual. He was plotting something. This was the first time he encountered a heaven-level top-grade cultivation manual. This was probably the top-tier cultivation manual in the Xintian continent. Then he began to think about how to waste it. Simply throwing it away seemed too plain. Tearing it apart would be wasteful but lacked style. Finally, after his brain worked furiously, he came up with a plan. He asked Xiaofei, "Haven't you gone to the bathroom in dozens of days?" Manager Meng laughed and said, "Young Master Yi, after reaching a certain cultivation level, one can use spiritual energy to cleanse impurities." Huang Xiaofei nodded. Although his cultivation level was low, he still had some spiritual energy. Yifeng was stunned. Is there really such a thing? What kind of paper-thin setting is this? But since he liked to push people to their limits, he stared at Huang Xiaofei with dead fish eyes and said, "No, you don't have that ability." Instantly, Huang Xiaofei's butt clenched. He thought, "Holy crap, Brother Ye's tastes are so heavy, what should I do? Should I really refuse?" After thinking about how good Yifeng had been to him, sacrificing his but didn't seem like a big deal. Couldn't he endure this little hardship? After a fierce internal struggle, he told Yifeng that his stomach suddenly hurt. Yifeng immediately revealed a mysterious smile and walked over. This made Huang Xiaofei realize that things were indeed not simple. In the next second, a small, glowing booklet appeared in his hand. Yifeng told him, "Remember to use this to wipe. Don't use rocks anymore." A moment later, Huang Xiaofei, hiding behind a rock, began to freely fly. He had already forgotten how many years it had been since he last used the bathroom like a mortal. However, he noticed that the book Yifeng gave him seemed quite profound. Although he couldn't fully understand it, in the next moment, strange symbols began to fly out of the book. This immediately caught Manager Meng's attention. He couldn't believe that the young master could enter a state of enlightenment while taking a dump. Manager Meng quickly connected the dots and asked Yifeng, "What kind of book did you just give the young master?" The spendthrift man finally encountered a moment of true love in his life. Today, he failed for the first time in wasting resources and was deducted 50,000 waste points. This meant he had worked 5 days for nothing. At this moment, Huang Xiaofei, while taking a dump, entered a mysterious state of enlightenment. This shocked Manager Meng. What exactly did young Master Yi give him? Yifeng told him it was just a heaven-level cultivation manual for Xiaofei to use as toilet paper. Manager Meng immediately knelt down, deeply moved. He vowed to remember this kindness forever. Suddenly, Yifeng heard a ding-ding-ding system notification. His waste points were rapidly decreasing. The speed was comparable to a life-altering disaster. In the next moment, Yifeng's face turned dark. Huang Xiaofei came running over, holding the heaven-level cultivation manual. Smiling, Yifeng quickly tried to minimize the damage, throwing a punch with all his might. But it was too late. Today's wasteful product was completely wasted, resulting in failure. 50,000 waste points were deducted. Now, with only 10,000 points left, losing 50,000 points was like going back to square one. He cried, lamenting the hardships of being a worker in the cultivation world. Seeing Yifeng's unhappy expression, Huang Xiaofei immediately knelt down and said, "Brother Yi, it's my fault." Yifeng asked him, "What exactly did you do wrong?" Huang Xiaofei cried bitterly. He said it was because his willpower was insufficient, and he couldn't resist the temptation of the heaven-level cultivation manual, forgetting the essence of the battle saint body. As soon as these words were spoken, Manager Meng's body trembled. So that's how it is. Earlier, he thought young Master Yi was deliberately sabotaging the young master's great opportunity. Realizing his own ignorance, Manager Meng also knelt down, begging for punishment. For a moment, all three parties fell into silence. Yifeng was utterly confused. Why is Manager Meng kneeling? What does this have to do with him? Why was he forcing himself into the drama? When it came to self-delusion, his second disciple was the strongest, but Manager Meng's train of thought was definitely not inferior to the second disciple's. Huang Xiaofei, seeing Yifeng still fuming, knew he had truly disappointed Brother Yi this time. Yifeng eventually sighed. What is wrong with this cultivation world? It's either sick or delusional. Yifeng had enough. He was genuinely tired. At this moment, Huang Xiaofei seemed to mature instantly. He vowed solemnly, "Brother Yi, I will never disappoint you again. One day, I will become a sharp blade in your hand, clearing all enemies in your path." Yifeng felt a chill upon hearing this. Good grief. All I want is to laze around, but this kid wants to ruin my peaceful life. Seeing Yifeng ignore him, Huang Xiaofei continued, "Whether you need it or not, Brother Yi, I will train hard, and always be ready to be your weapon." In the next moment, Yifeng snapped. He told him, "It's too late to be a bootlicker now. I already have a wolf at home." Yifeng, the first elder of the sect, finally made his move today. Because Yifeng stepped into the sect with his left foot first, he was almost killed by the sect's holy maiden. By evening, the black-robed elder finally broke through the formation. This time, that brat won't escape. Meanwhile, Manager Ming had already spotted the soul sect, but as soon as they approached, they were met with an overwhelming pressure. They guessed that powerful figures inside were as common as dogs. Half an hour later, the three of them stood in silence. The entrance was covered in spiderwebs, but Yifeng didn't care and walked in. In the next moment, a surge of killing intent rushed toward him. Luo Qianxue appeared in front of Yifeng at lightning speed. The sword in her hand was now just 0.00000001 millimeters away from his neck. Yifeng was shocked. Master's way of welcoming me is quite unique. He quickly asked the system to save him, as he was in grave danger. The system replied, "At most, it's a minor scratch. If you wait a bit longer, it'll heal on its own." It told Yifeng to handle it himself, as the guards wouldn't intervene. At that moment, a few figures rushed over, shouting, "Holy Maiden, show mercy." Yifeng, confused, asked why they were here. Luo Qianxue grew even angrier. She asked him if he had no idea what he had done at the Xinji sect. Then she glanced at the two behind him and asked who they were. She warned Yifeng to think carefully before answering, and not to say they were also here to join the sect. After learning they had just met by chance, Luo Qianxue finally lowered her sword. Old Bai and the others asked if Yifeng was injured. Even minor wounds needed treatment to prevent infections like tetanus. Seeing that it was Xia Tianyu, Manager Ming and the other were shocked. The boss of the Tianyu auction house was actually staying in a small sect? Yifeng then told Luo Qianxue that he had brought some business for the sect. But Luo Qianxue bluntly said, "The soul sect lacks funds. Let's not talk about cooperation." What a way to say, "We're broke." Poverty truly limited their imagination. Huang Xiaofei slowly took out a prescription and said, "Sect leader Luo, there's been a misunderstanding." A few minutes later, Luo Qianxue couldn't understand why they were willing to let the soul sect participate in the production of an 8th-grade blood body pill. But this had little to do with her. After all, she hadn't started the sect for money. She had other reasons, but this was none of her concern. She had never been interested in wealth. Running the sect was never about money for her. A foolish figure suddenly appeared. Yifeng appeared with an expression that seemed to say, "Quick, praise me." This instantly made Nuo Qianxue understand. It was indeed related to this troublesome disciple. Suddenly, the system's voice rang out. "The gray-robed old man will arrive at the Soul Star Palace in 3 minutes. Deducting 1 use of today's peek into the heavens ability. Soul Star Palace." Soul Star. Yifeng sent the bloodthirsty mantis to intercept this person. Don't kill him. Just beat him until he's unrecognizable. The bloodthirsty mantis made a flashy move, instantly catching the attention of the others. Yifeng thought, what the heck? Is it showing off? Meanwhile, in the small forest east of Soul Star Palace, the black-robed old man laughed. He didn't believe that Brat could produce another high-level formation. Formation energy. The man finally succeeded in winning over his master, knowing that the love-struck cultivation goddess must also enjoy shopping. Seeing his master's shy smile, the spendthrift man fell in love on the spot, just as Elder Ming, who had been trapped for 3 days, finally broke free. As soon as he tried to move, he sensed a murderous intent. Elder Ming asked, "Who are you? Hurry up, I don't have time to kill." The bloodthirsty mantis laughed. A mere insect who's transcended 7 tribulations. Who gave him the courage? Watching the opponent blink, the fist had already arrived. Elder Ming let out a scream. The bloodthirsty mantis thought, if I don't teach him a lesson, my master will be very angry. But don't worry. My master only said to teach you a lesson. I haven't beaten anyone in days. My hands are itching. Please, uncle, humor me. Just sacrifice a little. Elder Ming spat out a mouthful of blood. It's not that I don't want to humor you, but my body can't take it. Suddenly, the bloodthirsty mantis smirked. My master said, as long as I don't kill you, it's fine. Meanwhile, in the guest room of Soul Star Palace, Huang Xiaofei listened to Elder Ming's intermittent transmission. It was broken. Finally, he only heard one sentence. I'm about to be beaten to death. Come save me. Huang Xiaofei immediately begged Yifeng for help, asking if he had seen a black-robed old man in the past few days. Yifeng told him that this person had been chasing them for 3 days. If it weren't for him, Elder Ming and the others would have been killed by that old man. Huang Xiaofei begged Yifeng to call off the attack. That person is Elder Ming's father. As soon as these words were spoken, Yifeng was shocked. The next moment, with a thud, a figure was thrown down. Elder Ming's father was almost beaten to death. The next moment, another figure crashed down. This completely shocked the 3 of them. The bloodthirsty mantis fell from the sky, pinning the person into the ground. Elder Ming let out a painful scream. He was in agony, tears streaming down his face. Father, are you okay? You must hold on. I'm only 50. You can't die yet. But Elder Ming just mumbled a few incoherent words, and then he was gone. This left Elder Ming completely shattered. A younger generation mourning the older. Huang Xiaofei and Yifeng were both horrified. Their scalps tingled. Even little blood was in disarray, realizing that something had gone wrong. Half an hour later, Elder Ming was revived. Yifeng and the others explained the situation. He even bowed in apology. At this moment, Boss Ya walked in, introducing the group to the sect master of Soul Star Palace, as well as 5 core disciples of Star Soul Sect, and 3 of the top figures, Elder Luo Kai of Star Soul Sect, Sect Master Little Blood, the guardian beast of the sect. Outside, someone from Soul Star Palace was overlooked. He was the second disciple of Soul Star Palace. How could he be so unnoticed? Elder Ming looked at the unremarkable sect and felt a chill. Moreover, behind the door was a hidden sword prodigy. Elder Ming thought, could this also be Yifeng's fellow disciple? The next moment, a mysterious sword cultivator made their grand entrance. Elder Ming was struck dumb. What the heck? The one with the peerless sword intent was actually a dog. Yifeng happily looked at his loyal dog, Luo Kai. The others were speechless. Why are all the good things given to this dog? Seeing this situation, Yifeng was ready to start squandering again. Sure enough, a sword-wielding dog appeared out of nowhere. The dog that could make eternity seem like a long night had arrived. Elder Ming was completely shattered. Sword heart sword. Sword embryo formed. Luo Qianxue, with a proud expression, comforted herself. Don't be angry. It's his stuff. If he wastes it, so be it. Luo Kai thought, good heavens, this trip was worth it. This kid definitely has more good stuff. Chun Haoyu told the group. These are just small scenes in the grand scheme of things. Soon, Elder Ming and the other 2 bid farewell and left Soul Star Palace. Returning to the study, Yisong knelt on the ground. Master, is there anything else? Luo Qianxue held a large sword and said, my dear disciple, I've underestimated you. Just a few days away from the sect. How many identities do you have now? Core disciple, honorary elder, founder of your own faction, taking the master of the Flower Bone sect as your disciple. I wonder if I should call you my disciple now, Elder Yi, or perhaps Ancestor Yi. Yifeng immediately pledged his loyalty. Master in life, I am your person. In death, I am your ghost. He even shed tears of emotion, saying he only wanted to share the burden of the sect with his master and strengthen the sect. Luo Qianxue was deeply moved by these words. Yifeng then continued to kneel. If master doesn't like it, I can give up all these titles. Luo Qianxue told Yifeng to stop kneeling. Don't waste the Jiping Jing, top-grade spirit essence. There's a mysterious place in the Heavenly Dao battlefield that will be of great use. Yifeng said, Master, are you talking about Heavenly Dao City? Unfortunately, I only stayed there for half a day. Luo Qianxue wanted to pique his curiosity, but he had already been there, while she hadn't. It's so embarrassing. Yifeng told Luo Qianxue that Heavenly Dao City was a lot of fun. There are bags that girls love. Yifeng promised to take his master there next time. For a moment, Luo Qianxue thought, having a spendthrift disciple is really nice. Yifeng noticed his master's gaze had changed. He knew love was coming. Luo Qianxue realized she had been testing him, and told the foolish-looking Yifeng to leave for now. Half an hour later, Yifeng finally left. He knew that love takes time and shouldn't be rushed. The next moment, someone tapped his shoulder. Luo Kai smiled and said, Yifeng, I've been waiting for you. The black sect leader, whose sect was dirt poor, suddenly found the spendthrift man turning into a god of wealth, bestowing blessings. At this moment, Yifeng was startled by Luo Kai. He chuckled. Elder Bai's kidneys have been hurting lately. Elder Xia seems to have a bad cold. But as a body cultivator, I'm strong and healthy. If you need anything, just ask me. Elder Bai suddenly appeared. Good kid, you really don't hold back. Elder Xia also emerged from the bushes, with a dark expression. This kid is sneaky. He's definitely up to no good. Luo Kai was shocked. When did these 2 start eavesdropping? Elder Bai asked. Do I look like my kidneys hurt? Elder Xia told Luo Kai. When I was holding up the heavens, you were still drinking milk. Yifeng told the 3 of them. There's no heavy work today. Elder Bai and Elder Xia exchanged glances, and knew it was time to retreat. Can't disturb the god of wealth's rest. But Luo Kai looked terrified. Where are you taking me? Yifeng, save me. If I go today, my life might be ruined. Half an hour later, Yifeng finally returned to his dorm. As soon as he entered, he saw his senior brothers and sisters there. They noticed that after just a few days away, Yifeng's cultivation had reached the 9th level of the foundation establishment stage. They asked what he had gained in the Heavenly Dao battlefield. Meanwhile, Long Wufeng hid in the corner, muttering, I feel so invisible. He knew that if he didn't act now, he would be completely forgotten. He ran out and asked, Senior brother Yifeng, how many seconds did it take you to break through from Qi movement to foundation establishment? The second senior sister told him not to talk nonsense. No matter how strong junior brother Yifeng is, he couldn't have crossed 2 major realms. But at this moment, Yifeng was moved to tears. The scene of my breakthrough, which shook the ages, no one witnessed it. How heartbreaking. Indeed, only my junior brother understands me. Chun Haoyu was shocked. Could Long Wufeng be telling the truth? Junior brother is actually this fierce? Immediately, he asked Yifeng to demonstrate. Yifeng had no choice but to divert attention. Junior brother Wufeng, have you digested the 3,000 clear mystic pills? Long Wufeng immediately became proud, meaning everyone, look at me. He originally planned to break through to the foundation establishment stage, but Master said to wait for senior brother Yifeng to return. After all, the foundation establishment stage is crucial for cultivators. Yifeng immediately gave him a thumbs up, knowing that my junior brother, who gives me tough challenges, is indeed impressive. But the others cried in frustration. Their fate is so bitter. Why didn't they meet a spendthrift like Yifeng during their foundation establishment? But they still have a chance. Now, at the 9th level of the Z Mansion, they haven't even refined their spirit yet. So, they unanimously decided to hold off. Wait for Yifeng to release the first random task. Host, lead your fellow disciples to participate in the secret realm competition hosted by the Tianyang sect. Achieve second place in the competition. Do not take first place. Success or failure of the task, rewards or deductions of a large amount of spendthrift points can be refused. Yifeng looked at this and felt it was difficult. He asked his senior brother, is there a big event in the sect? Shunhao Yu said he didn't have any impression. The senior sister spoke up. A few days ago, the Tianyang sect sent an invitation, but after discussing it, the sect master directly refused. A few minutes later, Yifeng hurried to his master's room to inquire about this matter. Luo Qinxue told him, that's right, but any sect that agrees to the invitation must contribute a certain amount of resources to the small secret realm. This small secret realm is controlled by the Tianyang sect. They are very familiar with it. Other sects will definitely suffer losses if they go. After hearing this, Yifeng told his master he wanted to participate. Luo Qinxue told him no, the sect is impoverished and has no resources. But the next moment, he realized something was wrong. The sect may not have resources, but this man in front of me is filthy rich. He almost forgot. His direct disciple is a crazy spendthrift. Yifeng asked Luo Qinxue, can't you provide the resources? Luo Qinxue thought, this is bad. He's about to start squandering again. Master, I'll take 50 enlightenment pills, 50 stalks of 9-leaf soul revival grass, 13 pieces of golden silkworm star oregon, and 100 drops of great demon blood. Luo Qinxue was shocked. He's going to squander again. All the resources of other sections probably aren't as precious as a single drop of great demon blood. Yifeng smiled. Master, is this enough? When the disciples of other sects see these things, they'll probably go crazy. Luo Qinxue smiled. All of these will be handed over to the sect. The resources needed for the competition will be prepared by me. He thought, you like squandering, don't you? This time, I'll directly attack. As soon as Yifeng heard this, he immediately took back all the treasures. Luo Qinxue asked, what do you mean? I told you to hand them over to the sect. Why did you take them all back? Yifeng said, because Master must be planning to treat these scraps as treasures and enshrine them. This disciple absolutely cannot allow that. If Master wants to soak her feet in 9-leaf soul revival grass, this disciple will immediately offer it. Luo Qinxue didn't expect Yifeng to guess her thoughts. Helpless, she said, you must hand over those things to the sect. Tell me how you want to squander them, and I'll do as you say. Yifeng thought, this time, Master is being so obedient. Master has always been frugal. If I can make her indulge in squandering, I believe she won't be able to resist. The system asked, host, those resources won't be? Yifeng told the system, you don't understand. The sect competition is not as important as Master. The system nodded silently. That seems reasonable. Then, Yifeng took out all the items. Let Master indulge. Luo Qinxue asked Yifeng, how should we use the enlightenment pills? Yifeng said, Master, each of you gets 2 pills. The rest will be fed to the dog. As for the soul revival grass, same as usual, use it for foot soaking. Each person gets 2 stalks. The rest will be used for the dog's bath. As soon as he finished speaking, Luo Qinxue could no longer suppress her emotions. Yifeng was startled. He thought, I overestimated Master's mental resilience. He said, how about we put all of it into the secret realm? But at this moment, Luo Qinxue smiled and looked at him. She said, no need. I feel your distribution method is very reasonable. The beautiful sect master heard that the spendthrift man used a heaven-grade technique as toilet paper. She spat out a mouthful of blood. The next moment, she heard Yifeng created a battle saint body. She couldn't take it and spat out watermelon juice. At this moment, holding the treasures Yifeng handed over, Luo Qinxue asked him, what about the 3 pieces of golden silkworm star ore? How do you plan to squander them? How about forging some kitchen knives? What does master think? This surprised Luo Qinxue. She didn't expect Yifeng to have such ambition, knowing to use them to forge weapons for the sect. But Yifeng told her no, not weapons, just some kitchen knives or hoes for chopping vegetables in the kitchen, and Luo Qinxue struggled to suppress her rising anger. She asked Yifeng, what about the last 100 drops of great demon blood? Yifeng originally planned to say, use it to water the garden. But seeing Master's expression was already a bit off, he changed his tone. Leave it for the sect's cultivation progress, or reward those who make great contributions. Only then did Luo Qinshua's expression soften a bit. Yifeng thought, this is Master's first time squandering. Her mental resilience is still weak, so we need to cultivate it slowly. Can't squander too much at once. At this time, Luo Qianxue took out a communication. Elder Bai, notify everyone to gather at the sect hall. Luo Qianxue asked Yifeng again about his time with Elder Meng. You spent a few days together. Tell me, what did you squander? Yifeng said. Nothing much. Just let them eat blood ascension pills until they were full. Luo Qianxue didn't think much of it. After all, with the recipe, the blood ascension pills aren't that precious. She then asked Yifeng to continue. The spendthrift man said, I used a heaven-grade technique as toilet paper for Xiao Fei. Luo Qianxue forced herself to stay calm. Heaven-grade techniques aren't that valuable in the upper realm. Suddenly, Yifeng remembered he had a battle saint body fragment and casually gave it to Huang Xiaofei. Luo Qianxue shouted, impossible. Absolutely impossible. How could something like the battle saint body still exist? That insane battle saint body. She had once seen a battle saint body challenge her master. Even when reduced to just a head, it would never fall, and it had astonishing regenerative abilities, even though her master was a full realm above. In the end, he still lost miserably. She asked Yifeng, what's special about the battle saint body you mentioned? Luo Qianxue thought, it's just a coincidence. It's not that powerful. It doesn't need to cultivate any techniques or weapons. It just gets stronger the more it fights. The more severe the injuries, the stronger the power it unleashes. In short, it just gets crazier the more it fights. Luo Qianxue finally couldn't hold back and spat out watermelon juice. It really is that thing. She told Yifeng, the battle saint body is no ordinary thing. Remember to get closer to Huang Xiaofei in the future. His future achievements will be limitless. Yifeng's expression grew increasingly grim upon hearing this. He wished that kid would stay far away, always saying, he wants to be a sharp sword in Yifeng's hand. Yifeng asked, is there something wrong? Luo Qianxue was truly exhausted. This once-in-a-generation genius is offering himself, and you don't want him? Suddenly, hurried footsteps approached. It was Elder Bai. Sect Master. Everyone has gathered. The Holy Maiden's decisions were even more extravagant than a man's. When the squandered items were brought out, everyone trembled. As the squandered products were revealed, everyone was in shock, because they finally understood what it means to be inferior to a dog. At this moment, an emergency meeting was being held in the Soul Star Palace Hall. Elder Bai noticed Luo Qianxue looked haggard. It seemed something had happened between her and Yifeng last night. Suddenly, Yifeng grabbed a tissue and said he needed to go to the bathroom. He had some urgent business to attend to. The rest is up to Master. He thought, squandering is such a good thing. Master must handle it herself. That way, she'll get addicted and experience the joy of squandering. But Luo Qianxue stood there in a daze. Good heavens, you're leaving the embarrassing stuff to me and running away? She thought, if it weren't for the fact that he's my direct disciple and always cares for the sect, I would really drag him back and beat him up. Knowing that squandering was inevitable, Luo Qianxue could only silently endure. Is everyone here? Today, I've gathered everyone to announce something. The Soul Star Palace's squandering event has begun. Everyone was stunned. Did I hear that right? The frugal sect master is talking about squandering? Only the little dog barked twice, probably meaning, sect master is amazing. Luo Qianxue realized this dog had become a spirit, truly worthy of being raised by a spendthrift. The next moment, she was struck by a thought. If even a dog can squander like this, why should I feel heartache? After all, Yifeng will foot the bill in the end. She then took out all the treasures. See this? All of this was offered by Yifeng. Elder Bai was the most shocked, because he was instantly filled with the aura of squandering. Luo Qianxue also completely let go, feeling the joy of being a spendthrift. Men of the sect looked eager, all letting out primal roars. Luo Qianxue told everyone to calm down. Now, let's distribute the enlightenment pills. 2 pills per person, and 2 stalks of 9-leaf soul revival grass each. A disciple asked, Holy Maiden, what about the rest? How will it be distributed? Luo Qianxue asked, distribute what? The rest belongs to the little yellow dog. Elder Bai almost couldn't catch his breath. Humans are inferior to dogs. Then, Luo Qianxue began a new round of benefits. Take out 100 drops of great demon blood, as rewards for disciples advancing in strength, and for the contributions of the sect elders. Luo Kai instantly smiled like a blooming chrysanthemum. This trip is definitely worth it. Seeing no objections from the crowd, Luo Qianxue told Elder Bai to distribute the items and dismissed the meeting. The members of Soul Star Palace began discussing. This meeting was really exciting. Now, I'm looking forward to what the sect's year-end rewards will be. Returning to her room, Luo Qianxue looked at the star Oregon. This made her feel a bit troubled. I don't know what to forge with this. I've never handled it before. But the next moment, she had an idea and thought of someone. Professional matters should be handled by professionals. This kind of thing should be entrusted to him. Today, the spendthrift man saw his goddess being threatened with a knife. He completely lost his temper. This was absolutely unacceptable, even if the opponent was an old man wielding an 80-meter-long machete. At this moment, in a blacksmith's shop, a girl was hammering away furiously. This kind of physical labor left her panting and sweating profusely, drenched in sweat. This person was none other than the rogue cultivator, Chu Xiaoxiao, Luo Qianxue's best friend. At this moment, Luo Qianxue appeared. Chu Xiaoxiao asked, what wind blows today? To bring sect master Luo here? Luo Qianxue asked her best friend for help to forge some things for the sect. This instantly piqued her interest. This sect master who only knows how to slack off, is actually starting to care about the sect. Something's fishy. There must be a secret affair. Chu Xiaoxiao knew this girl had an icy personality. Besides her father and me, no one else would like her. Luo Qianxue told her. There's also my direct disciple, who can tolerate me. Chu Xiaoxiao's gossipy heart instantly flared up. Is it a man or a woman? What's their cultivation level? How big is it exactly? Where does he work? What's his income? Does he have a mortgage, car loan, or savings? Who would have thought? You've actually learned to hide a lover. Starting to secretly raise a man? Luo Qianxue told her best friend to stop. This direct disciple is the infamous spendthrift of the sect. And today, I'm here mainly to forge some kitchen knives. But Chu Xiaoxiao looked confused. Aren't we going to continue the disciple topic? She then said, knives and hoes are small matters, but it'll take a couple of days. Grandpa is busy lately, forging a divine weapon. At this moment, a figure walked out of the forge. He told Luo Qianxue, I have time. These are just ordinary iron tools. They can be done quickly. The speaker was none other than Chu Hongshan. He asked Luo Qianxue, the 5 old fogies from the Star Soul sect, aren't they dead yet? Then he told his granddaughter to stop what she was doing and help Qianxue with the forging. Luo Qianxue said, this time, I have a request. Chu Hongshan agreed without hesitation. No matter what it is, I'm confident I can forge it. The next moment, Luo Qianxue took out 3 pieces of golden silkworm star oregon and placed them on the table. The request is simple. Mix these into the tools. When the grandfather and granddaughter saw this, they were utterly shocked. Chu Hongshan's face darkened. Those 5 old fogies. Best friend. Chu Xiaoxiao looked horrified. What did you just say? You want to mix golden silkworm star or into kitchen knives? To kill chickens and sheep? And use hoes forged with golden silkworm star oregon to till the fields? Luo Qianxue looked at the two of them with an expression that said, She thought, is this the joy of squandering? Suddenly, Chu Hongshan turned his back to everyone. He couldn't hold back anymore and exploded. This is outrageous. Meanwhile, Yifeng was eating skewers on the next street. A loud explosion made the two of them freeze. He asked, what's happening up ahead? The bloodthirsty mantis reassured him, Master, don't worry. With me here, there's no problem. Then, the two curious onlookers rushed to the scene. As soon as they got close, they saw a shocking sight. A burly man was holding a large machete, glaring fiercely at him. Master, Yifeng thought, this is bad. Master is definitely in danger. But Chu Hongshan was filled with rage. He thought the 5 old fogies had corrupted Luo Qianxue and wanted to go cut them down. Luo Qianxue was completely baffled. This has nothing to do with the 5 elders. Chu Hongshan roared, these old devils actually want to mix the clan's treasure into kitchen knives and hoes. Don't stop me. I'm going to have a word with them. I've lived this long, and I've never seen such squandering. Today, I must get an explanation. Luo Qianxue helplessly explained. This matter has nothing to do with the elders, but with the honorary elder. This made Chu Hongshan even angrier. What honorary elder? Where is he now? Luo Qianxue hesitated. Should I reveal Yifeng's identity? At that moment, 2 figures made a grand entrance. Seeing the imposing duo, Chu Hongshan was momentarily stunned. Yifeng exuded an overwhelming aura. Who dares to harm my master? He declared. The spendthrift man finally took action for the sect master. A full force strike from a cultivation expert didn't even scratch the spendthrift man. Instead, he was easily subdued. Chu Hongshan asked, who are you? Yifeng stood in front of Luo Qianxue. Your humble disciple has come to rescue you. He then introduced himself. I am the chief direct disciple of the Soul Star sect. Yifeng said with concern, Master, you really worry me. Luckily, I was out eating skewers. Otherwise, what would you do if someone bullied you? Luo Qianxue's heart fluttered. Yifeng really came to my rescue when I was in danger. Just as Luo Qianxue was about to explain the misunderstanding, Yifeng told Xiaoxue to escort the sect master out of the forge. A battle is inevitable soon. The next moment, the bloodthirsty mantis suddenly leaped into action. It instantly locked Luo Qianxue in a chokehold and flew away with her. Yifeng completely dropped his act. He shouted, you old fool. How dare you steal my master's things in broad daylight, and even try to hurt her? What the hell? Who gave you the courage, old man? Chu Xiaoxiao, hearing Yifeng insult her grandfather, instantly turned into a raging fire. But Chu Hongshan stopped her. He wasn't angry. Instead, he smiled. Young man, you're quite something. This left Chu Xiaoxiao completely baffled. Grandpa, have you gone mad from anger? He just insulted you, and you're praising him? Chu Hongshan explained his reasoning. If my granddaughter also had a disciple who would risk everything to protect her, I would be very happy too. At this moment, the bloodthirsty mantis returned. Master, the task is done. I've set up a barrier to isolate the sect master outside. Chu Hongshan said, I admit, your beast is indeed strong. But what if my strength surpasses his? How will you handle that? Yifeng suggested the old man make a bet with him. Chu Hongshan was amused. What's the bet? Yifeng bet that even if Chu Hongshan used his full strength, he wouldn't be able to harm him at all. The bloodthirsty mantis, watching from the side, secretly laughed. Another fool who's about to get played. Chu Hongshan exclaimed, interesting. You're quite to my liking, kid, but I wonder if you can take a hit. Since you have the guts to say such things, I assume you have some strength to back it up. Chu Hongshan threw a powerful punch. The sheer force of the punch shattered the ground. Though the attack was fierce, the result was laughable. His powerful fist was stopped mid-air. With just a single finger, a skinny, one-armed man slowly emerged from behind Yifeng. He laughed maniacally. Finally, it's my turn. The man, born with only one arm, could suppress a cultivation expert with a single finger. But today, he was disobedient, rebelling against his master, and was immediately subdued by Yifeng using a fishing net. Just now, Chu Tianhong's attack was stopped with a single finger. The man smirked. With a flick of his middle finger, he sent Chu Tianhong flying. With just a casual gesture, he completely overwhelmed the cultivation expert, even to the point of instant defeat. One of the members of the Spendthrift Guard, the one-armed man, he asked, Master, should we start slaughtering the city? If needed, I can wipe out the entire city in an instant. Yifeng realized this guy was a troublemaker. He said, are you here to protect or to slaughter? But the one-armed man didn't listen. His eyes turned fierce, staring intently at Chu Tianhong. So, who tried to harm my master? Don't worry. I won't kill you outright. Instead, I'll slice you up and turn you into a head-only specimen. This terrified the grandfather and granddaughter. This man is too strong, and his cruelty is beyond imagination. Chu Xiaoxiao quickly explained, this is a misunderstanding. Your master Luo Qianxue is my best friend, and my grandfather didn't mean to harm her. If you don't believe me, you can ask Qianxue yourself. Yifeng was momentarily stunned. This is no joking matter. I need to clarify this. He told the bloodthirsty mantis to go ask his master. Remember, don't let her in. To avoid seeing the gruesome scene, a few minutes later, the bloodthirsty mantis returned. Master, it seems we made a mistake. The sect master calls the old man Grandpa Chu. It must be a misunderstanding. He even played a recording of Luo Qianxue's voice. But the one-armed man wasn't satisfied. He urged Yifeng, regardless of the misunderstanding, anyone who dares to attack you must die. The one-armed man smirked. Master, you're too kind. Just as the one-armed man was about to continue speaking, a sudden change caught him off guard. He was completely unprepared. Yifeng's expression had changed. He looked at the one-armed man. Were you just telling me what to do? At this moment, the one-armed man, trapped in the fishing net, showed a hint of fear. Seeing the man's defiance, Yifeng asked the system, what should be done with unruly members of the Spendthrift Guard? The system's response was simple. Execute immediately. Eliminate on the spot. Now, the one-armed man began to panic. He shouted, Master, I was wrong. I'll never dare again. Yifeng coldly walked up to him and said slowly, I'll give you one chance to live. Follow me now. Looking at this man who had seemed harmless just moments ago, but had now turned so cold, the one-armed man was utterly terrified. The Spendthrift man, having just finished fighting, called it a misunderstanding, and even took out a hefty sum of hush money, warning the grandfather and granddaughter not to leak anything, or next time, they'll really die. The one-armed man was taken to a dark room by Yifeng. Yifeng asked him to explain the situation with the Spendthrift Guard. The one-armed man didn't dare hide anything. He said, including myself, there are only 10 official members, but to join the guard, you must first pass a test. Not only that, even after joining, you must undergo regular assessments. If you fail, you'll be mercilessly eliminated. The task of the Spendthrift Guard is simple. Just one. Protect the master's safety. Even if it costs our lives, we will never betray or flee. Yifeng finally understood a bit more. He decided to give this troublemaker one more chance. If he dares to defy me again, I'll make him die on the spot. The one-armed man didn't expect that after making such a big mistake, his master would... This left him stunned. After recovering, he thanked his master for sparing his life, then tore open space and retreated. Yifeng asked the system, what exactly is the Spendthrift Guard? The system clearly didn't want to explain, and simply gave up, but Yifeng knew. The guard isn't just made up of strong, armored men. Its members are likely a bizarre mix. I imagine the other members won't be much different. After a while, Yifeng slowly walked out. He smiled apologetically at the two. Sorry, it was all a misunderstanding. He even took out hush money on the spot. Just forget the unpleasantness. And these 5 pieces of golden silkworm star, or are yours? Chu Xiaoxiao asked Yifeng. Who are you? What's your purpose in getting close to my best friend, Luo Qianxue? If you don't explain clearly, I won't let this go. But then, she was grabbed by her grandfather's rough hand. Chu Tianhong smiled and said, I understand. Yifeng said, good that you understand. Then he told the bloodthirsty mantis, go and invite my master in. Chu Xiaoxiao questioned her grandfather. Why did you stop me earlier? Chu Tianhong explained. We just need to know he won't harm Qianxue. That's enough. Other matters are unnecessary. Now, let's help them forge the hoes and knives. Chu Xiaoxiao knew the situation was beyond her control. She could only silently accept it. But thinking about this smirking man, she secretly vowed this isn't over. I'll follow my best friend to the sect. And keep an eye on this. I refuse to believe I can't see through him. At this moment, Luo Qianxue arrived. She asked, what were you all doing just now? Yifeng said, it was all a misunderstanding. Nothing serious. He even shifted the blame to the bloodthirsty mantis. Xiaoxue sensed danger earlier and rushed over. But now, the misunderstanding is cleared up. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave. Watching Yifeng leave, Chu Tianhong smiled. Qianxue, my girl, you have a good disciple. By the way, what's this about an honorary elder you mentioned earlier? As far as I know, the Star Sect doesn't have anyone called an honorary elder. Hearing this, Ruo Qianxue immediately looked embarrassed. Her man spends money on cultivation. His wealth knows no bounds. Today, he conquered another rough, 80-year-old Iron Man. Even more exaggerated, it was a buy-one-get-one deal. The old man even packaged his granddaughter, ready to gift her to the man. Just now, Luo Qianxue blushed shyly and stammered, honorary elder. He's his direct disciple. Chu Tianhong exclaimed in disbelief. No way, those 5 old fogies shouldn't be so absurd. Does this person have some special talent? Chu Xiaoxiao was shocked. Wouldn't my best friend have to respectfully call him Elder Yi? How on earth did he manage this? Ruo Qianxue felt even more embarrassed to speak. Because he's rich, he contributed 100 million top-grade spirit crystals, allowing the Star Sect to splurge recklessly. Chu Tianhong's jaw dropped. 100 million top-grade spirit stones? That's quite a lot. It's indeed not a small amount. Suddenly, Chu Xiaoxiao added, Grandpa, it's spirit crystals, not spirit stones. Chu Tianhong glared at his sharp-tongued granddaughter. How could you make an 80-year-old man face such a harsh truth? But then he thought, and his eyes lit up. He asked Luo Qianxue, Grandpa Chu has treated you like his own granddaughter all these years. From now on, why don't you and Xiaoxiao? Chu Tianhong didn't finish his sentence, leaving the rest for Luo Qianxue to figure out. Luo Qianxue knew exactly what he meant, but our sect already has more elders than disciples. If we take in more, it'll really become a retirement home. Chu Tianhong saw her hesitation and thought he hadn't made himself clear. Luo Qianxue was nervous and didn't know what to do. Suddenly, Chu Tianhong smiled. I'm a 9th-grade alchemist, with an extensive network. Joining your sect would be a great deal. This made Luo Qianxue pause. She thought, oh no, this is the feeling of being tempted. Sure enough, his words immediately got a response. Grandpa Chu, from now on, the sect's alchemy will be entrusted to you. Since the sect is already chaotic, we might as well go all out. Chu Tianhong immediately showed a wise smile. So, it's settled then? The most confused was Chu Xiaoxiao, who was inexplicably packed up and taken away. At the same time, on the tower of Tufeng City, countless cultivators gathered. Each one had a kind expression, while the crowd below whispered among themselves. Who are these people? Their aura is so overwhelming. Aren't they afraid of provoking public anger? One person told him to be quiet. A trash cultivator like you wouldn't understand. Don't you see the crescent moon on their cloaks? These are the top experts from Moonlit Manor. Rumor has it that Manor Lord Zhang Shufeng has successfully overcome the first heavenly tribulation. His strength far surpasses other tribulation transcendence experts. At this moment, Zhang Shufeng, standing midair, ordered, move out at full speed. The reason for his fury was that his son, Zhang Heng, had been killed. Today, whoever dares to kill my son, no matter who they are, will die. The Moonlit Manor group marched with great momentum, shouting, blood for blood, avenge the young master, kill, kill, kill. The man had no sense of restraint. Every time he shops, prices skyrocket. After spending 3 million, he told the vendor, his goods were actually worth about 100 million. This reckless move completely provoked the vendor's murderous intent. Meanwhile, Yifeng wandered aimlessly on the road, saying he was bored. His urge to splurge was acting up. The bloodthirsty mantis knew its master loved spending money. Taking him shopping for fun might not interest him much. Suddenly, it had an idea. Master, there seemed to be a lot of strange and unique things there. This made Yifeng's eyes light up. The items themselves aren't important. As long as I can splurge, it's fine. Near the north gate of Zifeng City, on the bustling merchant street, Yifeng immediately heard the noise as soon as he arrived. Step right up, don't miss out. High quality, low prices, honest business. You won't regret it. No scams here. A flirtatious woman immediately asked Yifeng, wanna relax a bit? An old man selling fake medicine shouted, miracle pills, cures all ailments. Yifeng and Xiaoxue were startled by the enthusiastic vendors. Then, they began their spending spree. Yifeng, with his immense strength, picked up a weapon. It looks good, but it's too heavy. Just then, the system's voice rang out. Discovered Heavenly Dao Token. Random task activated. Purchase the achievement token containing the Heavenly Dao Token. Success reward, 100 points. Failure penalty, deduct 100 points. You may refuse. Yifeng was stunned for a moment, then frantically began searching. Where is it? Where is it? Soon, he spotted it in a corner, at an inconspicuous vendor's stall. Yifeng asked, how much for this token? The vendor, Xiao Ming, secretly smiled. Finally, a big sucker had taken the bait. He said with a grin, "Young master, you have a good eye. This is the most valuable item in my entire stall. Back then, I almost died in the Heavenly Dao battlefield just to get this token." Yifeng looked impatient. "Stop wasting time. Just give me the price." Xiao Ming, with a straight face, quoted a price for the token, which was normally worth 50 with free shipping. 3 million low-grade spirit stones. Yifeng laughed. "Who the hell do you think you're looking down on? All this fuss for just 3 million? That's way too cheap." Xiao Ming was stunned. What did this guy mean? "If you think it's too expensive, we can negotiate." He explained, "Young master, the price might be a bit high." But Yifeng didn't bother haggling. He tossed out 3 million and said, "I'll take it." This shocked Xiao Ming. "It's a deal? Without even bargaining?" He thought, this token must have some big secret. He then asked Yifeng, "Now that the deal is done, can you give me a hint? How much is this thing really?" Yifeng told him, "This thing is very useful to me. Even if it were 300 million top-grade spirit stones, if you dared to quote that price, I would have bought it without hesitation." Hearing this, Xiao Ming experienced a life-changing moment. 300 million top-grade spirit stones, gone. His eyes turned cold. If you're not ruthless, you won't survive. This kind of loss is unacceptable. These two aren't leaving today. Today, these two won't get away. The man finally got what was coming to him. They came for his 3 million, but the spendthrift man only prepared 2,000 for the robbers. Just as Yifeng took 2 steps, Xiao Ming, behind him, didn't bother hiding his murderous intent. Xiao Shui warned Yifeng, "That guy behind us has a strong killing intent. It looks like we've been targeted." Yifeng asked, "Really?" Hearing that someone wanted to kill him, Yifeng was thrilled. He decided to book a luxury room, clean his neck, and wait for the robbers to come. His master's bizarre logic left the bloodthirsty mantis utterly confused. Being targeted and still so happy? Even if the opponent is weak, this is too much. An hour later, Xiao Ming found his boss, Hu Tu, and told him, the target's assets are definitely over 100 million, and the token he bought seems to have some secret. Hu Tu, the rogue cultivator, warned Xiao Ming, "If this intel isn't accurate this time, your ass is mine." Then, the two headed to the Heavenly Blessing Inn, but as soon as they reached the door, they heard some unusual sounds. A voice inside said, "Master, you can't do this. This is too much." "Too much? Looks like you're too inexperienced." The two robbers were momentarily stunned. Luffy, he started imagining the scene in his mind, the scene inside the room. At this moment, Xiao Shui asked the master, "Are you using 2,000 low-grade spirit stones to deal with the robbers? Isn't that too humiliating?" Yifeng, who treasures wealth, spoke up, "Dream on. If they take these 2,000 spirit stones, they won't live to spend them. Although I'm known for being wasteful and having no bottom line, if I don't want to give it to them, no one can take it from me. I'll give them hope first, and then crush it completely." The bloodthirsty mantis thought to himself, what kind of heartless playboy talk is this? The next moment, the door was blasted open. 2 cannon fodders made a grand entrance. They shouted, "Fubalek, room inspection, now, everyone. Hands on your heads." Yifeng smiled and said, "I knew you two were coming. Here's a little something I prepared. Not too much, not too little, just right." The robbers were stunned. What the hell is this? 2,000 low-grade spirit stones? This is downright disrespectful. Only 2,000? Are you kidding me? Even his dog eats more than 2,000 worth of food a day. Yifeng asked, "Did I give too little?" This made them even angrier. You spend 3 million without hesitation when buying things, but when robbed, you give this? Yifeng's face turned red with embarrassment. He argued with the system, asking it to see that he had only given this much. It's definitely not enough. Now, as a spendthrift tycoon, I'm being stingy, and even the robbers are disgusted. The spendthrift man is completely ruined. His senior sister even offered to give him her glamour photos. My senior sister has no bottom line. She even offered to help him relieve his stress. But what scared him the most were these 3 rough old men. At this moment, the robbers were getting impatient. They demanded Yifeng hand over 3 million, or else they'd kill him. Yifeng told them to shut up first. "Wait, or you won't even know how you'll die." As soon as he finished speaking, a spatial rift suddenly appeared. 2 golden arms grabbed the robbers' heads. With a squelch, their heads were crushed instantly. The golden armored guard said, "How dare you try to rob my master?" Yifeng asked the system, "What's going on? I wasn't even threatened. Why did he come out and kill them?" The system told Yifeng, "As a spendthrift tycoon, your first robbery is of great significance. You can't let these weaklings tarnish your record of extravagance. These guys aren't even worthy of being recorded in your spendthrift history." Yifeng was furious. Xiao Shui asked, "Master, aren't you taking the spirit stones?" Yifeng told her to throw away the trash and return to the sect. Seeing Yifeng was truly angry, the system quickly made amends. It compensated him with 100,000 spendthrift points, rewarded him with a 9-tier 1,000 feather sword formation, and a 9-dragon heavenly cauldron. The 1,000 feather sword formation, when activated, gathers spiritual energy within its range, condensing it into 1,000 swords that autonomously attack all living beings within the formation. The 9-dragon Heavenly Cauldron contains 9 demon dragon souls and refines countless spiritual herbs, absorbing heaven and earth's spiritual energy to create divine pills. Seeing the system's sincerity, Yifeng instantly forgave it. Moments later, back at the Soul Star sect, Yifeng was stunned. Deafening wails echoed from inside. Yifeng looked and saw. The training ground was unusually lively today. 3 old men were sitting there. Old Bai said disdainfully, "Ancient prodigy, did you not eat? When sparring, you must go all out, fist to flesh, and convert with love." Old Xia directly ordered Long Wufeng to swing his sword 10,000 times. Yifeng, hiding in the corner, shivered. He thought, what the hell is going on? Yifeng suddenly popped his head out and was spotted by his junior brother, Wufeng. The group seemed to have seen their savior. Long Wufeng shouted, "Senior brother, save us. Junior brother is about to die." The 3 elders of the East Gate have gone mad. The 5 prodigies saw Yifeng and shed tears. They shouted, "Little junior brother, if you had come any later, we would have died here." The crowd asked Yifeng if he wanted the secret manual. "If you don't mind, senior sister's photo album, I can give you a set. Save senior sister. And tonight, 5th senior sister will help you relieve some stress." Long Wufeng could only cry silently. He told his senior brother, "Tonight, I can help massage your legs." At this moment, 3 burly men slowly approached. Each of them glared at Yifeng with malicious intent. This made Yifeng feel a chill down his spine. He said, "To be continued." A man just mentioned his hemorrhoids acting up, and it actually attracted a cultivation expert. They crafted a golden treatment chair for him. Being stared at by the 3, Yifeng felt a great fear. Elder Bai walked over. He slowly said, "Now, let's arrange Yifeng's training program." Yifeng immediately shouted, "I don't want to train." Hearing this, the 3 elders chuckled darkly. After the time it takes to drink a cup of tea, Elder Bai told Yifeng, "It's getting cold. You need to nourish yourself more." Elder Xia asked, "Your legs must be sore from traveling, right?" Only Luo Kai was shocked. What's going on? Weren't they planning to make Yifeng participate in the training? Elder Liang laughed. "Kid, you're still too naive. With your intelligence, you still want to compete for the wealth god eagle? Go back and play with mud." Luo Kai was furious. Fine. You want to play like this? Let's play." In an instant, Yifeng let out a scream. He asked, "I was doing just fine. Why did you suddenly lift me up?" Chen Hao Yu watched and found it thrilling. No special treatment for the little junior brother. This is the upright Elder Luo we know. Elder Luo's righteous actions instantly earned everyone's admiration. Yifeng was thrown into the air. Luo Kai unleashed a series of powerful palm strikes below. Moments later, he panted heavily and said, "Yifeng, come here and experience this. Being a dirt pile is too lowly. Just now, I used a palm strike to turn it into dust." Elder Xia sneered. "This kid clearly landed over a dozen palm strikes secretly. Stop pretending. Do you think I'm blind? Stop showing off. Do you think I'm blind?" Yifeng realized they had made a chair for him. He was really scared for a moment, but Luo Kai's actions instantly drew countless disdainful looks. Luo Kai said, "What are you all standing around for? Keep sparring." Hearing sparring, Yifeng immediately thought of something. He asked the system, "Can the power of the 100-faced 1,000 feathers array be adjusted?" Yes, the duration can be up to 10. But for non-hosts, they need to perform a blood oath to control its power. Luo Kai and the others looked at the item Yifeng pulled out of his pocket, their faces filled with confusion. Yifeng explained, "If we're sparring, brothers, why not use the 9-rank killing array chest for training? This thing can adjust its power." Chen Haoyu was dumbfounded. He scolded, "Little junior brother, we tolerated your wastefulness, but can you at least act like a human? This thing can even kill someone at the Tribulation Transcendent stage. Do you want senior sister to die young? You're amazing, you're noble, but instead of helping, you're screwing us over." Luo Kai looked at the array chest and felt a bit embarrassed. He told Yifeng, "Isn't this a bit too much? Don't be so ruthless. We just wanted to mess with them, not kill them outright." But Yifeng took out the 1,000 feathers array chest. He shouted, "Elder Luo, your vision is too narrow. Your mindset is too small." The upright senior brother reported the wasteful man to the higher-ups, but the wasteful man just whispered something in his ear, and instantly, he transformed into a patriot. He declared, "I don't eat beef." Now, Luo Kai watched as Yifeng screwed over his teammates, breaking out in a cold sweat. But Yifeng argued, "I'm doing this for the future of the sect. The suffering of my senior brothers and sisters will not be in vain." Yifeng continued, "This is all for the sake of the sect's future. The hardships of my senior brothers and sisters will not be wasted. Although they are the ones suffering, I also feel tormented inside." Luo Kai told Yifeng to stop the act. "Even if it's a bit over the top, it's just a formation flag. Just endure it and it'll pass. Senior sister is crying. This is going to be the death of him." Chen Haoyu told him, "Junior brother has already shown mercy." Luckily, he only took one formation flag, but the next second, he was proven wrong. Yifeng told them, One formation flag can only last for 10 hours. He was afraid it wouldn't be enough, so he prepared more. The eldest brother immediately took out the Chuan Yin token, calling the sect leader for help. He really couldn't stay in the soul sect any longer. But just as he connected the call and before he could speak, Yifeng placed a hand on his shoulder. He asked the eldest brother if he wanted to be a patriot. If he cut off the call now, he would be responsible for supervising the others. The Chuan Yin token on the other end urgently asked what was happening, and if they still needed help. The next moment, with a crunch, the Chuan Yin token was crushed into pieces. Now, Chun Haoyu was the patriot of the cultivation world. Guiding his juniors was his duty. Meanwhile, sect leader Ruo Wuming's face darkened. He hesitated whether to go and pick them up. The elder asked what they should do about the situation. Ruo Wuming said it was nothing serious, just that the disciples wanted to return. Luo Tianqing was furious. Such a big matter, and they didn't report it earlier? Ruo Wuming was stunned. How could this be considered a big deal? Luo Tianqing then told them. His friend Bai Gang had come to the sect, but hadn't been able to meet Yifeng. Now, he would take them to meet him. Any objections? He then whispered to them to watch their words, as there were outsiders present. The other elders were furious, but didn't dare to speak up. No wonder Bai Gang had been staying for so long, without being allowed to leave. So this was their plan all along. Shameless and despicable. Seeing that no one dared to object, Luo Tianqing immediately took off. Bai Gang told him to slow down. He had already seen his great-grandmother waving at him. Luo Tianqing quickly slammed on the brakes, causing Bai Gang to nearly vomit. He was speechless, asking if they were in such a hurry to reincarnate. And could someone explain why they were dressed like beggars, wearing such shabby clothes? Luo Tianqing told him he didn't understand. These weren't beggar clothes, but victory robes. What kind of victory robes look like this? Today, Luo Tianqing was determined to be ruthless. He promised to refine pills, but instead took out a divine dragon cauldron. Luo Tianqing told Bai Gang the pure spirit incense they had been using daily was given by Yifeng, and he obtained it by wearing these. Bai Gang immediately asked Luo Tianqing to give him a set of these clothes. Meanwhile, the senior brothers and sisters of the soul sect were nearly exhausted. Senior sister cried out that she couldn't take it anymore. The juniors cursed the eldest brother for being heartless, choosing to be a patriot. Now, all the pressure fell on the eldest brother. Extreme pressure can change a person. Long Wufeng was so scared he cried. He realized how much the eldest brother cared for him. Yifeng told him not to misunderstand. He called him over to ask something. Hearing that he had to go back, he was stunned. Did the eldest brother call him out to ask about pill refining? Yifeng laughed, saying he was clever to guess correctly. Long Wufeng hugged his leg, about to speak, but Elder Xia kicked him back into the formation, telling him to continue training in the killing array. After all, he was a 9th grade alchemist. Yifeng was surprised and thanked Elder Xia. In the office, Elder Xia asked Yifeng what the cauldron was called. The 9 Dragons Heaven-Burning Cauldron, refining countless spiritual herbs and burning heavenly energy, creating divine elixirs. Elder Xia was dumbfounded after hearing this. Could Yifeng have been scammed? Burning heavenly energy? What a load of nonsense. He sneered. Refining heavenly spiritual herbs requires at least a heavenly grade cauldron. Otherwise, it would explode. And to absorb heavenly energy, the cauldron must have a spirit. Yifeng looked smug, believing that this cauldron was beyond heavenly grade. He told Elder Xia to watch closely. The next moment, dragon roars echoed as a golden dragon soared into the sky. This astonishing phenomenon immediately caught everyone's attention. It was a sea of flames burning the heavens. A dragon's might stood above the soul sect. Ruo Qianxue was shocked. This was a dragon soul cauldron. How could it appear in the summer realm? Yifeng told the little golden dragon to stop and return to the cauldron. Seeing the phenomenon Yifeng had just caused, Elder Xia was utterly shocked. Sect leader Ruo Qianxue even grabbed a knife, ready to scold the wasteful man. The reason? The wasteful man wanted to use the divine dragon cauldron to roast a whole lamb. Yifeng looked at the cauldron and thought it was amazing. Now, whenever he wanted barbecue, he had the perfect tool. The only downside was how much energy it consumed. Elder Xia, standing nearby, felt utterly speechless. I knew you'd use this cauldron for something ridiculous. Such a powerful dragon spirit, and you're wasting it like this. As Elder Xia lamented, Ruo Qianxue rushed over from the main hall. She flew over in a hurry. Yifeng, I knew only you could cause such a commotion. Tell me, was that dragon spirit released from the cauldron in your hands? Yifeng grinned and nodded proudly, even inviting his master to try it out. Ruo Qianxue didn't hesitate and immediately poured her spiritual energy into the cauldron. However, the energy disappeared like a stone sinking into the sea, with no reaction at all. Ruo Qianxue was stunned. Could it be that you've already bonded with this cauldron? Yifeng nodded, but complained that the cauldron consumed too much energy. In just a moment, his spiritual energy was completely drained. Ruo Qianxue was shocked. She couldn't believe Yifeng had gained the cauldron's recognition. In just the short time, Yifeng had released the dragon spirit. It could have leveled the entire soul sect. Even a powerhouse who had survived 9 heavenly tribulations would have been sent flying by its power. As Ruo Qianxue pondered, Elder Xia floated around like a ghost, startling her. She quickly asked Elder Xia if something was wrong. Elder Xia didn't hold back, saying, "Sect leader, you need to discipline Yi Feng. He wants to use this divine cauldron as a barbecue grill. This is a complete waste of a treasure." Ruo Qianxue was equally appalled, calling Yi Feng a spendthrift for not cherishing such a precious artifact. When Yi Feng mentioned that the cauldron could roast an entire lamb, Ruo Qianxue immediately scolded him. "Do you even know how powerful this cauldron is? With it, you could travel the entire profound heaven continent without fear." As Ruo Qianxue continued, Yi Feng interrupted her, saying, "Master, you know me. I'm not interested in fighting. All I care about now is eating." Ruo Qianxue was almost speechless. "Yi Feng, this cauldron can help you refine supreme pills, and even annihilate enemies in the future. Such a precious divine tool. And you're treating it like a kitchen utensil. With it, you could travel the profound heaven continent without fear." As Ruo Qianxue was about to say more, Yi Feng interrupted her, saying, No, master. You know me. I'm not interested in fighting. All I care about now is eating." Ruo Qianxue was almost at her wit's end. "Yi Feng, this cauldron can help you refine supreme pills, and even annihilate enemies in the future. Such a precious divine tool. And you're treating it like a kitchen utensil. You must make good use of him." But when Yi Feng heard this, he lay on the edge, pretending to be deaf and mute in front of Luo Qianxue. He even had the audacity to ask his master, "What do you want to test tonight?" At this moment, Luo Qianxue, seeing Yi Feng's stubbornness, could no longer hold back. He immediately drew a sharp sword, intending to strike his rebellious disciple. Elder Xia, seeing this, quickly intervened to stop him, shouting repeatedly for Yi Feng to run away. Seeing the situation, Yi Feng quickly complied, waving at the two of them, and without a word, immediately fled. Meanwhile, on the other side, in the main hall of the Xinyan sect in the Tianhua realm, the long-unseen fatty Li Fei was lying on the ground, trembling uncontrollably. He kept muttering, "Master, this disciple is wrong." Sect leader Sun Tianyu, sitting above, upon hearing Li Fei's words, coldly said, "You dare to go to the heavenly Dao battlefield without permission? You really have some nerve. And this isn't the first time. If I hadn't discovered it this time, I can't imagine how long you would have kept hiding it." Li Fei, lying on the repeatedly saying, "Master, please don't come any closer. This disciple knows he's wrong." But Sun Tianyu paid no attention to his pleas. Just as Li Fei was begging for mercy, Sun Tianyu's large hand came down on Li Fei's head. Without a word, he lifted the 200-pound fatty into the air. This terrified Li Fei, who kept shouting, "It hurts. It hurts." Sun Tianyu, ignoring Li Fei's cries, on the verge of exploding, immediately issued a confinement order. "Li Fei, from today onward, until you break through to the foundation establishment stage, I forbid you from taking even a step outside the sect." Just as Sun Tianyu was sternly lecturing Li Fei, a loud voice echoed from outside the hall, "Ha ha ha. Which esteemed sword Dao master has come to visit our Xinyan sect? I apologize for not welcoming you sooner." As soon as the words fell, the Xinyan sect's grand elder, Wang Qingshan, suddenly appeared in the hall. When Wang Qingshan saw the sword aura emanating from Li Fei, he was utterly shocked. Sun Tianyu, seeing the grand elder's arrival, immediately released Li Fei and asked in confusion, "Grand elder, why are you here? And today, our sect hasn't hosted any sword Dao masters." Wang Qingshan, hearing this, grew impatient. "You don't know anything. Quick, let Li Fei explain why he has such a pure death sword aura on him." Sun Tianyu, hearing this, immediately turned to look at Li Fei, who was writhing on the ground. "Speak up, Li Fei. What have you done? Weren't you the one who hated sword cultivation the most? How did you end up with this sword aura?" Li Fei, who, realizing he could no longer hide the truth, finally spilled everything like beans from a basket. "The origin of this sword aura dates back to when I was on the heavenly Dao battlefield and met a prodigal son. We teamed up, and one day, after completing a monster hunt, while resting, I casually mentioned how much I hated sword cultivation." Hearing this, he suddenly pulled out a pile of death sword fragments and forced them onto me. I resisted, but the more I said no, the more he insisted, shoving them onto me even harder. After fitting the 10,000th piece, I finally understood the essence of this deathly suggestion. Hearing this, Wang Qingshan was immediately dumbfounded. He never expected things to turn out this way. "Cuckoo Wang, I've been comprehending the heavenly sword intent for 60 years, yet in the end, I couldn't match your few minutes of understanding." Beside him, Sun Tianyu was also filled with shock and disbelief. Then, with a serious expression, he turned to Li Fei and said, "Tell me, Li Fei, what are you thinking now?" Hearing his master's question, Li Fei answered without hesitation. Master, ancestor, I've made up my mind. From now on, I will avoid anything related to swordsmanship. This way, over time, I will surely forget all about that sword and tint. In short, being ordinary makes me happy. Hearing Li Fei's words, Wang Qingshan could no longer hold back. He grabbed a whip and started lashing at Li Fei. After the chaotic scuffle, Wang Qingshan, without a word, dragged Li Fei toward his training ground. Meanwhile, Li Fei kept insisting to his master, I won't practice swordsmanship. Seeing this, Sun Yu smiled with satisfaction, thinking to himself, hee, our sect will prosper for another few hundred years. At the same time, elsewhere, inside the Star Soul sect, Yifeng, who was sleeping on his bed, seemed to sense something, and suddenly sneezed violently. Waking up, he muttered to himself, damn it. Who is it that disturbed my dream with the 7 fairies? As Yifeng continued to grumble, the system suddenly delivered some good news. Ding! Today's items have been refreshed. Today's squander item, Heavenly Grade Cauldron and Stone Statue. When Yifeng saw today's squander item, he was almost stunned. How am I supposed to? As soon as he finished speaking, he suddenly remembered Elder Xia mentioning that there were fewer than 5 Heavenly Grade Cauldrons in the Xintian continent. With that in mind, he thought he could still squander it. As Yifeng was plotting, Luo Qianxue kicked open the door to Yifeng's room. Yifeng was utterly panicked, unable to understand why his beautiful master would break his door early in the morning. Luo Qianxue, on the other hand, was furious. She angrily questioned Yifeng. You rebellious disciple, why did you leave that heavenly grade cauldron in the courtyard? I thought something major had happened. Hearing this, Yifeng replied helplessly, Master, that broken cauldron, I left it in the courtyard because I thought it was already generous of me. Do you expect me to enshrine it, or something? Luo Qianxue, hearing this, was at a loss for words. A cauldron of this level should indeed be enshrined. Isn't that the proper thing to do? Seeing Luo Qianxue about to say more, Yifeng quickly changed the subject. All right, master, let's not worry about that broken cauldron outside. I have something more important to discuss with you. Hypothetically, if I had 10 heavenly grade cauldrons, how do you think I should squander them? Hearing this, Luo Qianxue was instantly enraged. You dare ask me hypothetical questions? Do you think I don't know you by now? Whenever you ask about something, every time, he fails to squander it. Thinking of this, Luo Qianxue angrily turned and left. Seeing this, Yifeng felt a little helpless, but as Luo Qianxue was about to leave, he quickly followed behind her. Master, where are you going? You haven't given me a good suggestion for my question yet. However, Luo Qianxue ignored Yifeng's question. After walking out of the courtyard, she leaped into the air and flew away without stopping. A few minutes later, outside the Star Soul Sect's Moonfall Peak, Elder Xia was wiping a large cauldron while humming a tune. At that moment, he noticed out of the corner of his eye, Luo Qianxue, storming toward him with an angry expression. Curious, he asked, Sect leader, are you going out to buy spirit herbs? Hearing Elder Xia's question, Luo Qianxue replied irritably, honestly. Elder Xia, oblivious to her mood, continued, I bought a batch of spirit herbs a few days ago. We shouldn't be short of them. Hearing this, Luo Qianxue was utterly speechless. Frustrated, she quickly changed her answer, saying she was going out to buy ores. Seeing Luo Qianxue's dark expression, Elder Xia finally realized something was wrong. He then asked, Sect leader, did Yifeng upset you again? As soon as he finished speaking, he suddenly remembered, oh no, I almost forgot. It must be Yifeng's squandering time again. Thinking this, Elder Xia quickly turned and ran away. Hearing Elder Xia's words, Luo Qianxue trembled with anger. After some time, Elder Xia arrived at the courtyard and saw Yifeng digging the ground. He hurriedly said, Stop, such manual labor isn't for a young man like you. It should be done by an energetic old man like me. Without waiting for Yifeng's reply, Elder Xia grabbed the shovel from his hands and started digging vigorously. Yifeng was left stunned by this scene. Before long, Elder Xia had dug a huge pit. Stopping to catch his breath, Elder Xia asked, Yifeng, why are you digging such a deep pit? Hearing the question, Yifeng didn't explain much. Instead, he pulled out a large alchemy cauldron from his spatial storage. Seeing this, Elder Xia was utterly shocked. At that moment, he couldn't believe his eyes. Yifeng had casually pulled out a heavenly grade cauldron. Trembling, Elder Xia asked Yifeng, what are you planning to do with this cauldron? Yifeng replied that he wanted to use the cauldron as a makeshift outhouse over the pit. Hearing this, Elder Xia couldn't hold back. As a 9th grade alchemist, he immediately declared he would beat Yifeng to tears. Elder Xia was furious when he heard Yifeng wanted to use the cauldron as a toilet. He couldn't take it anymore. Just as he was about to teach Yifeng a lesson, Luo Qianxue suddenly appeared from the shadows. She grabbed Elder Xia and pleaded, "Please, show mercy. After all, he is my direct disciple." However, Elder Xia was still fuming. He shouted, "Sect leader, let go. I'm going to beat this squanderer to death." Yifeng, this scoundrel, is clearly insulting my profession. Seeing this familiar scene, Yifeng suddenly realized something and couldn't help but laugh. What kind of plot twist is this? Without hesitation, Yifeng decided to run away. Elder Xia, wait a moment. I'll have junior brother Wu Feng come and handle this. Seeing this, Luo Qianxue was utterly speechless. Good heavens, Yifeng, this scoundrel, is even scheming against his own junior brother. Is he trying to wipe out the only two alchemists in our sect? Elder Xia, standing beside Luo Qianxue, kept complaining, "Sect leader, look, just look. What has Yifeng become under your guidance?" Hearing this, Luo Qianxue was also filled with indignation. Humph, Elder Xia, who was it that stopped me when I wanted to teach him a lesson yesterday? Elder Xia was stunned by her words. Damn it, so you came here specifically to ambush me? Luo Qianxue didn't deny it. Instead, she smiled and said, "Elder Xia, I have some matters to attend to, so I'll take my leave now. You can stay here and wait patiently." A few minutes later, Long Wufeng arrived cheerfully at Elder Xia's location. After approaching, he asked Elder Xia, "Are you here to help build the outhouse too?" Hearing this, Elder Xia felt a sense of foreboding. Hee, you may be smiling now, but you'll be crying later. As Elder Xia was lost in his thoughts, Long Wufeng, seeing through his intentions, delivered a fatal blow. Elder Xia, are you waiting for the heavenly grade cauldron? Hearing this, Elder Xia was utterly shocked. Damn it, Long, how did you know? And aren't you upset that Yifeng wants to use a top-grade cauldron as an outhouse? Long Wufeng, hearing this, replied smugly, Elder Xia, of course, I know about it. Senior brother Yifeng just gave me one. Before coming here, I even used it to raise fish. Hearing this, Elder Xia felt a surge of anger. Truly, dragons beget dragons, phoenixes beget phoenixes, and the son of a rat. Who would have thought that you, with your honest appearance, would betray the cause? Long Wufeng, oblivious to Elder Xia's mood, replied, Elder Xia, you're mistaken. It's more like birds of a feather flock together. Elder Xia couldn't hold back any longer. Get out of here. Do you think I don't know that? Although Elder Xia told Long Wufeng to leave, he was the one who staggered away. As he left, he muttered to himself, there are only two alchemists in the sect. The junior brother gets one, but as an elder, I get nothing. With such unfair treatment, perhaps it's better for me to leave early. As Elder Xia returned to his quarters, ready to pack up and return to the auction house, Chu Gongshan, who shared the courtyard with him, suddenly spoke up. Elder Xia, that's a heavenly grade cauldron. How can you just leave it lying around in the courtyard? Elder Xia was puzzled at first, but then he realized something and became overjoyed. When Elder Xia rushed to the courtyard, he was moved to tears. There, in his courtyard, stood a gleaming golden cauldron. Seeing this, Elder Xia gently caressed the cauldron. Chu Gongshan, standing nearby, quickly asked Elder Xia, can I borrow the cauldron for research? Elder Xia replied smugly. Elder Chu, what are you saying? Take this piece of junk if you want. Otherwise, I was planning to use it to raise fish in the courtyard. Hearing this, Chu Gongshan couldn't hold back. He picked up the cauldron and rushed out of the courtyard. When he reached an open area, what he saw left him utterly stunned. Before him stood a whole row of heavenly grade cauldrons. He couldn't help but exclaim, damn it, there are so many top-grade cauldrons here. What's the point of me researching them? Chu Hongshan was utterly baffled. Before him lay 7 heavenly grade cauldrons. This made him question whether there was any need for him to study such things. As he was deep in self-doubt, Yifeng suddenly popped his head out of one of the cauldrons. Startled, Chu Hongshan exclaimed, Yifeng, what are you doing hiding inside the cauldron? You nearly scared this old man to death. Hearing this, Yifeng, instead of apologizing, asked weakly, Elder Chu, as one of the top alchemists on the continent, how do you think I should use these heavenly grade cauldrons? To squander them properly? Chu Gongshan was stunned by the question. Good heavens, you hid inside just to think about this? And I'm just an old man who forges weapons and armor. Squandering is something an alchemist like me wouldn't understand. Yifeng, hearing this, immediately perked up when Chu Hongshan mentioned weapons and armor. His eyes sparkled as he quickly jumped out of the cauldron. He thanked Chu Hongshan and told him to pick any one of the 7 cauldrons. Chu Hongshan, confused, waved his hand and said, I'm just an alchemist. What would I do with a cauldron? Am I supposed to fight with it? Yifeng, hearing this, immediately became excited. Elder Chu, you're amazing. You hit the nail on the head again. Elder Chu, look at this heavenly grade cauldron. It can attack, defend, and is versatile. Isn't it the perfect weapon for a brute? Chu Gongshan was slightly moved. but still retorted, even if that's true, no one would treat such a precious treasure like this. Hearing this, Yifeng immediately began persuading Chu Hongshan again. If you went all out, how long would it take you to destroy this heavenly grade cauldron? Chu Hongshan hesitated and replied, Old man, my strength is limited. No matter how long I try, I can't destroy this cauldron. Hearing this, Yifeng felt his plan was almost complete. Without waiting for Chu Hongshan's agreement, he handed the cauldron to him. Meanwhile, inside the main hall, Luo Qianxue looked at the row of cauldrons with a mix of frustration and confusion. He couldn't help but exclaim, Yifeng, what madness is this? Yifeng, hearing this, smiled and said, Master, these heavenly grade cauldrons are indestructible. They make excellent weapons. So, I'm giving one to each of you. This way, no one will be left out. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiaohong excitedly said, Master, this cauldron feels great. With my strength, I can take down anyone with it. Elder Bai and Luo Kai, seeing Xiaohong effortlessly lift and swing the cauldron, were utterly shocked. Xiaohong, as a member of the powerful beast race, can actually wield the cauldron so easily. Such strength is truly terrifying. Meanwhile, Yifeng, ignoring their reactions, proudly approached Luo Qianxue. Master, don't you think these gifts are perfect? Luo Qianxue, instead of answering, asked, Let's not talk about that for now. Tell me, why did you give a cauldron to the dog? Hearing this, Yifeng excitedly began explaining his plan. Master, look, the dog loves the cauldron too. Besides, when the dog gets stronger, it can carry in its mouth to fight for our sect across the land. After pondering for a while, everyone agreed that this made sense. As everyone happily picked out their top-grade cauldrons, a discordant voice suddenly echoed from outside the hall. Listen up, Star Soul Sect. Hand over the person who killed my son, or in 3 incense sticks time, I, Jin Yu Villa, will annihilate you all. At that moment, the members of the Star Soul Sect, who were busy dividing the cauldrons, heard someone outside, threatening to wipe out their sect. Everyone was shocked and began discussing. Elder Xia, after a moment of stunned silence, exclaimed, Good heavens, this is like a toad yawning. Such a big mouth. Meanwhile, Luo Qianxue's eyes were filled with killing intent. Having been thoroughly annoyed by his rebellious disciple all morning, he immediately ordered, Everyone, follow me out to face the enemy. Just as everyone was filled with fighting spirit, a discordant voice interrupted. Master, you forgot to take this cauldron. It's a great item. Hard, heavy, and perfect for both offense and defense. It will definitely keep you safe in this battle. Hearing this, Luo Qianxue could no longer contain his anger. He scolded Yifeng. Is that all you know? The enemy is at our doorstep, and you're still fooling around here. Hurry up and prepare to fight those troublemakers. Meanwhile, elsewhere, a man was speaking to the villa master, asking, Master, why waste words on this pathetic sect? Let's just charge in and wipe them out. Zhang Shufeng, the master of Jin Yu Villa, gritted his teeth and replied, Shut up. You don't understand. I won't let a single one of them go, but first, I need to force them to hand over the murderer of my son. Then, I'll make them die slowly in fear. As Zhang Shufeng was speaking, his subordinates noticed something strange below. Elder Bai and the others were carrying cauldrons, and had appeared in their line of sight. The disciples of Jin Yu Villa burst into laughter at the sight. They mocked, Are the people of the Star Soul Sect out of their minds? They're dragging cauldrons around. I've never seen anything so ridiculous. In my 20-plus years of life, are they trying to make me die of laughter so they can inherit my belongings? Hearing this, Luo Qianxue, standing below, was furious. I knew we shouldn't have brought these cauldrons to fight. Meanwhile, at Jin Yu Villa, Zhang Shufeng's expression turned grave as he noticed a burly man below, exuding an intimidating aura. Chu Kunshan, noticing Zhang Shufeng's gaze, growled, Zhang Shufeng, no matter why you're here today, daring to provoke the Star Soul Sect means your Jin Yu Villa has no reason to exist anymore. Hearing such bold words, Zhang Shufeng was stunned. Before he could respond, Chu Kunshan continued, I am Chu Kunshan. Even Shi Chunfeng would bow before me. Hearing this, Zhang Shufeng was terrified. He never expected that the burly man before him was Chu Kunshan. I heard he never joins any faction. Why is he here at the Star Soul Sect? Knowing Chu Kunshan's strength, Zhang Shufeng was filled with dread. He had no idea how to deal with this situation. Chu Kunshan's presence changed everything. Zhang Shufeng's confidence crumbled as he realized the gravity of his mistake. Chu Kunshan's reputation was unmatched. Zhang Shufeng immediately began explaining, Elder Chu, my son was killed, and I used a tracking insect to trace the killer here. So, I have reason to believe that the murderer is in the Star Soul Sect. Hearing this, Chu Kunshan let out a cold laugh. If you want to accuse someone, you can always find a reason. Zhang Shufeng, you want to annex small sects, without even bothering to come up with a decent excuse. You're utterly shameless, Zhu Kunshan sneered. Do you really think I don't know that your useless son always travels with a protector? And in my sect, there are only 2 weak disciples. One at the 9th level of the Qi refining stage, and one at the 9th level of the foundation establishment stage. How could they possibly have done such a thing? Although Zhang Shufeng understood this logic, he couldn't ignore the fact that the tracking insect had led him here. Unwilling to back down, he tried to argue, but Zhu Kunshan didn't give him a chance to speak. He harshly interrupted. Do you think I don't know what kind of trash your Jinyu Villa is? With that, Zhu Kunshan turned to the others behind him and asked, tell me, have any of you killed a warrior recently? Everyone in the Star Soul sect immediately shook their heads, saying no, but Zhang Shufeng refused to believe them. He began shouting, accusing them of lying. Luo Qianxue, already furious from Yifeng's antics earlier, couldn't tolerate this any longer. He immediately ordered everyone to attack and subdue the scum from Jinyu Villa. At the signal to fight, the elders and Xiaohong unleashed their terrifying auras. The members of Jinyu Villa, sensing that Elder Bai and the others were all at the Tribulation Transcendent stage, were terrified. Just as they were about to flee, a cauldron came crashing down, shattering their escape plans. The one who threw the cauldron was none other than Luo Kai, who loved physical cultivation. Seeing this, Elder Bai and Elder Xia each grabbed a cauldron and joined the fray. Soon, the screams of Jinyu Villa's members filled the air. Luo Qianxue, watching this scene, was both shocked and impressed. If a cauldron used for alchemy can be so deadly as a weapon, what would happen if I started using one too? The thought sent a shiver down his spine. Just then, a discordant voice interrupted. Master, are these people really here to find a murderer? Luo Qianxue replied, it's just a pathetic excuse to annex small sections. But Yifeng, still feeling uneasy, decided to consult the system. He activated the peek into the heavens function to investigate the incident. The system responded immediately. Ding! Host has used one opportunity to peek into the heavens. Querying the incident involving the mountain guard team will reveal whether it is related to you. Hearing this, Yifeng realized that the murderer Jinyu Villa was looking for was indeed himself. Just as he was about to explain, Zhu Kunshan sliced Zhang Shufeng in half with a single strike. Yifeng, witnessing this, was at a loss for words. Master, the murderer Jinyu Villa was looking for might actually be me. Hearing this, Luo Qianxue was stunned. What? So, they weren't here to provoke us for no reason? They were genuinely looking for a murderer? But how could someone as weak as you have killed them? Yifeng felt awkward and thought to himself, how should I explain this? I can't just tell you that while I was sleeping, they were killed by my squandering guards. As Yifeng struggled to find the right words, the lawless members of the sect dragged Zhang Shufeng's corpse over. Sect leader, all the invaders have been dealt with. Jinyu Villa is no good, so today we've done some justice. Elder Xia, standing nearby, added decisively. Just to be safe, in a couple of days, I'll go to Jinyu Villa and clean them out. Seeing Luo Qianxue's silent expression, Yifeng quickly asked, Master, what's wrong? Luo Qianxue replied, I'm fine, I just feel like dying a little. In his heart, he thought, not only did we shelter the murderer, but the elders are also planning to wipe them out completely. Our sect's reputation is probably ruined. As Luo Qianxue fell into self-doubt, the system began sending Yifeng a series of notifications. Ding! Congratulations, host. The Star Soul sect has become famous overnight. After this battle, when cultivators learn the details of this incident, they will all marvel at the evil of the Star Soul sect. Luo Qianxue, the sect leader, has been dubbed the #1 demoness of the Xintian continent. Seeing this notification, Yifeng was stunned. Damn it, system, how could you turn our sect into a terrifying demonic faction? Luo Qianxue's face was filled with helplessness. Becoming a master and sect leader had brought him no sense of accomplishment. As Luo Qianxue sighed and turned to leave, Yifeng called out to him, Master, when will the Secret Realm sect competition begin? Luo Qianxue paused, thought for a moment, and replied, the sect competition starts in 7 days. You and your fellow disciples should go a day early with the cultivation resources. Also, choose an elder to lead the team. I have matters to attend to and will stay at the sect. As Yifeng watched Luo Qianxue walk away, he felt that his master seemed troubled. Thinking this, Yifeng immediately ordered the system to use the peek into the heavens function. The system promptly notified him. Warning, host. The information from this peek is extensive and will consume all 3 daily opportunities. Proceed. Yifeng confirmed without hesitation. According to the records, your master was the holy maiden of the Wuji Holy Land in her past life. While out training, she was ambushed by 3 major sects led by the ethereal sword sect. After a fierce battle, she perished. Fortunately, using a sect treasure, she preserved a trace of her soul and reincarnated. Since then, your master has trained diligently to ascend to the upper realm and seek revenge. As Yifeng seriously reviewed his master's past, the system suddenly teased him. Your master has a Dao companion. Yifeng was shocked. After a long pause, he suddenly snapped out of it. Just as Yifeng was considering whether to eliminate his master's Dao companion, the system, with a playful tone, said, "Just kidding. Your master, in both her past and present life, has never had a Dao companion, so, don't worry." Hearing this, Yifeng breathed a sigh of relief. Damn it, system. If you had a physical form, I'd definitely take your life. Also, I just wanted to know what my master has been up to recently. You could have just told me she's been cultivating in the sect. Why all the unnecessary details? And you said the information was extensive? This just wasted 2 of my peek into the heavens opportunities. But my master's background is so bizarre. The ethereal Penglai Immortal Island and the Tianwu Alliance, the 3 major sects of the upper realm. I, Yifeng, will remember this debt. One day, I will ascend to the upper realm and slaughter those despicable villains to avenge my master and wife. As Yifeng gritted his teeth in anger, the system delivered some good news. Ding! Congratulations, host, for confirming a Dao companion. Based on your thoughts, you are rewarded with 100 million water cleansing pills. Ding! Water cleansing pills have no grade and can completely cleanse impurities from the body, granting a true impurity-free spiritual body. Any other cleansing pill is inferior in comparison. Ding! Disadvantages of water cleansing pills. A single pill has a weak effect. Large quantities must be consumed to see results, and the taste is unpleasant. Hearing this, Yifeng was stunned. System, your rewards are way too slow. My master was already my destined woman. Why did you take so long to give me this reward? The system replied awkwardly. My mistake. Next time, I'll deliver the reward earlier. Hearing this, Yifeng was furious. Damn it, system. There won't be a next time. Don't you know my love for my master is unwavering? A few minutes later, Yifeng was holding a golden water cleansing pill, studying it carefully. I heard that Xiaohong has an impurity-free spiritual body. An impurity-free spiritual body absorbs spiritual energy incredibly efficiently. It seems Xiaohong hasn't fully achieved that state yet. By the way, these pills are special rewards from the system based on my thoughts. I should distribute them to strengthen the sect. With that in mind, Yifeng hurried over to Xiaohong. Without a word, he tore off her clothes. Xiaohong, who had been single for thousands of years, was shocked by this behavior. She immediately scolded Yifeng, asking why he had torn her clothes. Yifeng explained that he needed the fabric to carry the pills. Hearing this, Xiaohong was furious. She pointed at the elders in the distance and said, "Why didn't you tear their clothes?" Yifeng whispered, "Your clothes are better. Theirs are too ugly." With that, Yifeng packed a large bag of water cleansing pills and approached the elders. "Elders, I have something good for you." The elders were thrilled. Wow, the rewards are here so soon after the battle. But when they eagerly approached to see what Yifeng had brought, they were stunned by a large bag of green pills. Inside the Star Soul sect, the elders sat together, staring at the pile of oddly scented pills. They were unsure how long it would take to finish consuming them all. As the elders whispered among themselves, Yifeng was messaging the system. "System, I've finished squandering today's items. Where's my reward?" The system replied calmly. "Ding, host. You still have a cauldron left unused. So, the task is not yet complete." Hearing this, Yifeng suddenly realized, "I almost forgot about that." With that, Yifeng grabbed the cauldron and ran outside. Elder Bai, seeing this, asked curiously, "What is Yifeng doing? He doesn't look too happy." Luokai, while vomiting, replied, "I have no idea." As the elders whispered among themselves, Yifeng approached Zhang Shufeng's body. Without a word, he swung the cauldron and smashed it down, shouting, "It's all your fault, you scoundrel. Hand over my squandering reward." The group, watching from a distance, was stunned by Yifeng's actions. Luo Kai trembled and muttered, "Damn. Yifeng is no pushover when he's angry." Elder Bai, equally shaken, added, "Yifeng must be upset because we're not eating the pills." With that, they began hastily consuming the pills. Meanwhile, Yifeng, after smashing the remaining cauldron, heard the system's notification. "Ding. Host has squandered all items. Today's squandering reward, 1,000 squandering points, and a piece of Mystic One undergarment. The Mystic One is a women's garment made from 1,000-year-old mystic silk, offering unparalleled defense, soft and comfortable texture, and providing warmth in winter and coolness in summer. It's simply too luxurious. Hearing that the reward was a women's garment, Yifeng was delighted. This mystic one sounds like a top-tier item. Maybe I can give it to my master to improve our relationship. As Yifeng was lost in his fantasies, the system issued a new task. Ding! Random task issued. Give this women's undergarment to your master, Luo Qinxue. Task reward, 500,000 squandering points. Yifeng, hearing the generous reward, was both excited and nervous. Damn it, system. Are you messing with me? The system replied with a meaningful tone. Host, what are you talking about? I'm just helping you. Live a carefree life sooner. Don't be ungrateful. Yifeng, though outwardly calm, was secretly thrilled. As he was considering how to approach his master, Luo Qinxue suddenly appeared beside him. Yifeng, what are you doing here? Caught off guard, Yifeng blurted out, Wife, why are you here too? The moment the words left his mouth, everyone, including Luo Qinxue and the elders, was stunned. After a long pause, Luo Qinxue, filled with killing intent, asked, Yifeng, who did you just call wife? Trembling under her gaze, Yifeng stammered, Master, it's just a beautiful misunderstanding. But Luo Qinxue, furious, wasn't buying it. She was ready to teach her rebellious disciple a lesson he wouldn't forget. Meanwhile, the elders watched in shock. Damn, Yifeng is bold, calling the sect leader wife? He's truly a role model for us all. As they whispered among themselves, Luo Qinxue turned to Yifeng and demanded, If this is just a misunderstanding, then what is that in your hand? Yifeng, without thinking, blurted out again, Wife. Luo Qinxue, now even angrier, began hitting Yifeng while scolding him. What are you barking about? Yifeng, seeing his master's fury, quickly tried to explain. Master, it's just a joke. But Luo Qinxue wasn't having it. As the elders prepared to flee the scene, Luo Qinxue turned to Yifeng and said, Yifeng, you said this was a misunderstanding. Then tell me, what is that in your hand? Yifeng, without hesitation, shouted again, Wife. Luo Qinxue, hearing this, was filled with rage once more. She immediately jumped at Yifeng, hitting him while yelling, What are you barking about? Yifeng, seeing his master's embarrassment, quickly tried to explain, Master, this is a mystic one undergarment. Made from 1,000-year-old mystic silk. It's soft, comfortable, and keeps you warm in winter and cool in summer. Plus, its defensive capabilities are top-notch. Luo Qinxue, however, was skeptical. After all, mystic silk was a legendary material. Even the treasures of the Wuji Holy Land might not have much of it. As Luo Qinxue hesitated, the undergarment in Yifeng's hand suddenly emitted a dense spiritual energy. Seeing this, Luo Qinxue's doubts were dispelled. Although the Wuji Holy Land was prominent in the eastern continent, it was still insignificant in the upper realm. If Yifeng could casually use mystic silk to make women's undergarments, he must belong to some extraordinary faction. But the allure of the undergarment was too great to ignore. After a long pause, Luo Qinxue made a decision. Fine, I'll take it. But whether it's a misunderstanding or not, don't call me wife again. Yifeng immediately nodded, saying understood. With that, he handed over the undergarment, thinking to himself, My master is soft-hearted but tough on the outside. This mystic silk must be a top-tier item. Maybe I should press my advantage now. With that thought, Yifeng acted quickly. He wrapped his arm around Luo Qinxue's slender waist and said, From now on, let's agree that I'll call you wife, and you can call me whatever you like. Hearing this, Luo Qinxue's face turned even redder. No. One thing at a time. If you dare call me wife again, I'll strip you of your status as my direct disciple. Yifeng chuckled. I, Yifeng, have been in the romance game for decades. Do you think I can't handle a little wildcat like you? Luo Qinxue, as an honorary elder, I order you not to strip Yifeng of his status as my direct disciple. Hearing this, Luo Qinxue grew even angrier. You're threatening me? Yifeng, seeing Luo Qinxue's flustered expression, couldn't resist teasing her further. It seems wife thinks this status isn't enough. Fine, as your husband, I, as the sect ancestor, declare that Yifeng's status as my direct disciple cannot be revoked. Luo Qinxue, now thoroughly flustered by Yifeng's antics, couldn't argue further. Fine, call me whatever you want. With so many people here, it's already too late to explain. With that, Luo Qinxue, her face bright red, took the undergarment and left. Yifeng, watching her go, was overjoyed. Hee, this is what it means to be a king in another world. A piece of mystic silk was enough to make my master agree to being called wife. If I give her more gifts, I might get even more in return. A moment later, Yifeng cheerfully walked to the dormitory courtyard. As he opened the door, he called out, Junior brother Wu Feng, come to the main hall. I have something good for you to try. Without hesitation, Long Wufeng immediately knelt down. Yifeng was stunned. Damn, junior brother, what are you doing? Long Wufeng, tears streaming down his face, replied. I was too narrow-minded. Yifeng was utterly confused. As soon as he met his junior brother, the latter knelt down, saying he had been too narrow-minded. When Yifeng asked why, Long Wufeng explained, Senior brother, I was too narrow-minded. When you spent 100,000 high grade to become the sect leader's direct disciple, I thought you were just a fool with too much money. But now it seems that I am the foolish one. As Long Wufeng continued to speak, filled with deep regret, his senior brothers and sisters stepped forward to speak. Not bad, junior brother, spending 100,000 high-grade spirit stones to buy a saintess as your wife. Only you would dare to pull off something like this. Yeah, the ice goddess of Starry Sky sect. You actually managed to win her over. Tell us, when can I be your bridesmaid? At this moment, Air Shiji also chimed in, her face full of excitement. I never thought what's written in those romance novels. It's all true. I absolutely love this kind of plot. After teasing Yifeng for a while, the senior brothers and sisters finally left, satisfied. Meanwhile, Yifeng was left feeling extremely awkward. He never expected the elders to be so bold. A few hours later, inside the sect's main hall, Chu Xiaoxiao shouted at Yifeng as soon as he entered. You, Yifeng, what did you do to my Qianxue? Seeing Chu Xiaoxiao's furious expression, Yifeng couldn't help but feel smug. With a sly grin, he said, Hey, Xiaoxiao, why don't you say something nice to congratulate me? I'm in a good mood today. If you want something, just ask. Chu Xiaoxiao, already furious, was now even more enraged by Yifeng's taunts. If it weren't for her grandfather stopping her, she would have lunged at him immediately. Bah, I, Chu Xiaoxiao, would rather starve to death or be struck. If it weren't for her grandfather stopping her, she would have lunged at him immediately. Bah, I, Chu Xiaoxiao, would rather starve to death or be struck than take anything from you. Yifeng was stunned. He thought to himself, damn. This woman is even fiercer than my master when she's angry. As Yifeng was lost in thought, a sharp gaze suddenly fell upon him, making him shiver. When he looked up, he saw Luo Qianxue sitting on the main seat, coldly staring at him. Seeing her trying to look authoritative, Yifeng couldn't help. Looks like my master wife is still mad at me. I'll have to give her more gifts to win her favor. With that thought, Yifeng quickly approached Xiao Hong. Only then could he win his wife's favor. With that thought, Yifeng hurriedly approached Xiao Hong. Without a second thought, he tore her clothes apart. Xiao Hong was on the verge of tears, but Yifeng didn't care. He quickly grabbed some cloth, wrapped up a bundle of cleansing pills, and placed it in front of his wife. Master, these are cleansing pills. Their effects are even stronger than the clear profound pills. If taken in large quantities, they can bring unexpected benefits. Even an ordinary person's physique can be transformed into a flawless spiritual body. As soon as Yifeng finished speaking, Luo Qianxue remained silent, not saying a word. A dog nearby eagerly ran over. Yifeng immediately kicked it away, saying, Stupid dog, stay down. You'll get your turn later. Everyone present burst into laughter. Wait until the end, then you can eat. Upon hearing this, several people in the room, immediately, they were overwhelmed with joy and couldn't contain themselves. Ha ha ha, the Human Bruce Dog series has finally come to an end. As for Chu Xiaoxiao, at this moment, she arrived in front of Luo Qianxue. She began to speak hesitantly. Qianxue, we must not consume these pills. Just as Chu Xiaoxiao was about to say more, Luo Qianxue directly interrupted her. Even so, Xiaoxiao, this is something that can purge impurities from the body. As someone who wants to become stronger, I have no resistance to these pills. Upon hearing this, Chu Xiaoxiao immediately turned to look at Yifeng. Fuming with anger, she shouted, After all this, I want to see if these pills are as powerful as you claim. Yanba, Chu Xiaoxiao immediately picked up a pill and put it in her mouth. But the next second, Chu Xiaoxiao collapsed to the ground. The reason was that the pill was unbearably disgusting. At this moment, Yifeng, seeing Xiaoxiao collapse after eating the pill, immediately furrowed his brows. Could the pill really be that bad? Refusing to believe it, he immediately pulled out his dog, and without a second thought, grabbed a handful of pills and shoved them into the dog's mouth. As soon as the confused dog swallowed the pills, it seemed as if it had tasted the most disgusting thing in the world. Its eyes bulged, and its body stiffened. Then, with a pft, it spat everything out. Yifeng, watching the dog's reaction, showed no sympathy. Instead, he mercilessly said, You stupid dog, are you messing with me? Looks like you need more discipline. Yanba watched as Yifeng grabbed the dog and began to scold it. The onlookers, seeing this scene, burst into laughter. Half an hour later, the dog had been stuffed with so many pills that it looked like a giant ball. Yifeng, seeing the dog's expression of utter despair, could only sigh. You ungrateful dog, this is something others would kill for. And you dare to complain? You're such... After ranting for a while, Yefeng finally turned to the system and asked, System, everyone's constitution is different. How many water purification pills do they need to transform into a pure spirit body? The system quickly responded, Ding. Water purification pills are effective for all constitutions. Each person only needs to consume 100,000 pills to transform into a pure spirit body. Yefeng was stunned. 100,000 pills? Wouldn't that kill someone? At this moment, Chu Hongshan also asked, Yefeng, Xiao Xiao and I have already taken 300 pills. Although there are some changes in our bodies, I still want to know how many more we need to take.